And okay. Kids. Bring up my baseball travels from He's get bring to Florida. We're gonna go beach. We're gonna go to color here. Yeah. Take from San Jose. But go to Red Barn. Great Barn. Yes. Like the food. I remember that. Hey, Greg. What's the Wi-Fi? Do you know the Wi-Fi?
Yes, 102.
Okay.
And then capital B, it's called the community. It's EV.
I'll be sitting up there later.
And then there's another place.
Yeah, well, that's just part of the.
Yeah. You kind of that one.
That were there.
Where'd you get?
If I spell community right, it's this day. Okay.
It does help.
I got one. You're way ahead of all I did.
Oh, I'm not.
This is.
I'm not saying that. I just.
Got your own love spot.
You found us. Yeah, good.
Good morning.
How are you? How are
We
you?
like it down there. It's easy.
How are you?
Yeah, man, how are you doing?
Good, I'm sorry, I just gave you one eye. Your kids are really cute.
Oh, yeah, they
Been
are.
seeing all the pictures. I'm sorry, so I just want to.
Maybe. That's all. Maybe. I need one though.
We can tell everybody Ken Yancey gave me a black eye.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
Having a day, are you?
Yeah, that's been my kind of day this morning. How are you? I promise I won't hit you in the eye like I did Alex. Oh my gosh, his eyes hurting.
Yeah.
You're
Can
gonna
you
have to
see?
take up a new
Yeah.
career.
You need me to be your eyes.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
Take a seat.
If you don't, there's no.
Well, I mean,
Just, I'm always talking about.
Did I get it with your eyes? Maybe. Sorry.
Thank you. But I can see that.
So nice. I've been to a meeting up here before. I love this building. It's
Oh,
really nice.
That's all right.
Well,
Thanks.
you come up here.
There is a lady that organizes,
Rob?
yes,
That's a good
Yes.
meeting.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to come last
Please and thank you.
There's cyber security.
Yeah.
Homeland security, really
And
fascinating.
there's, Sheriff's Department.
Yeah. Good representatives of what's going on. You know, you think that criminals just, they're just getting smarter and smarter.
Yeah. As
Hard to say
people
no.
get more and more difficult.
Yes, and I don't understand why. Okay, but
Why
yeah.
would the
Hey, morning.
FBI looking for you?
Right.
And you have you.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Sue. Sorry, didn't mean to miss you there.
Well, that's all right.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I think we have enough to have a quorum today.
We do.
And I know the goal is, we've done really well getting out pretty quickly. I don't know if that'll be the case today, but hopefully we'll be out of here in an hour. So we'll call the meeting to order and establish a quorum.
Greg Baker.
Here.
Matt McGregor.
yes, ma'am.
Matt Grocock. Matt Turner. Jenna Hunter. Vinny Patel.
Yeah.
Marla Mitchell.
Here.
Daniel Seitz.
Here.
Devin Sonnenfeld. Alex Williams.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, I've asked Dan to do the invocation.
Heavenly Father, just thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning, to wake up to a beautiful day in the Ozarks. And thank you for the beautiful community that we live in and the chance to serve. Just pray that you give us wisdom as we work through the materials. In your name we pray.
Amen. Thank you. I don't know that I have a ton of comments today. I think the recommendation that came out of this board's last month, those all got approved. One of those was on the AUP, and I think the other one was on the percentage. And so the board approved both of those. So that's this, we're going to try and give you guys updates on what you guys do here, what happens after that. We have been having some work sessions related to, as a board, related to mission and vision, trying to come up with what I call those statements that kind of guide us. We think we sometimes know what that is, but we've been working on that. We hope to have that done by, I'd say, the end of September. So, if you get an email that says, hey, here's what we're thinking, and you agree or disagree, we're going to talk about that more at the board, but get anything on that, just feel free to give us your feedback as we move forward on that. Current business, approve the agenda. You have that here in front of you. Need a
So moved.
motion and a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed? You should have also gotten the minutes from 6/24/25, so just will need a motion to approve those if they look good to you.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any other discussion or comments? Not all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, financial statement review. I'll turn that over to Angie.
Right. You can see your monthly balance sheet showing a cash balance of 1,344,523.74 and a little higher than normal amount in liabilities, but we've had some large billings come through and those are keeping up with when they're due and getting them paid. Your income statement shows what I would expect to be where we are at this time of year. I will say that this financial statement drives me crazy because it doesn't show our total budget for the year. It shows us up to 6 months. So when we get later on in the meeting and we talk about a mid-year budget review, I've made one that shows the full budget and makes me a little happier. Because I look at some of these lines and go, we're not over, we're not under, and we truly aren't against the total budget. We have paid this month we have paid the final installment for the 2025 Chiefs season. So there'll be no more expenses related to the Chiefs this calendar year. Sales tax came in down about 4%, but still up 4% for the year. And in your packet, you've got the city's sales taxes, but I mistakenly pulled a May for the tourism tax and the breakdown by classification. So there's an extra sheet on the desk underneath your packet to show the actual tourism taxes for the June period. And I need one. Looks like I don't have the current. Chris, I'll have to rely on you. Is this? I didn't make a copy for me.
On the
On the city tourism tax.
City of Branson tourism tax 2025, it's showing it's up 6.9%, and then year to date it's showing up 7.6. Now I always tell people that their January is really December, and so you have the other thing that I've handed out as well. So I'll just jump in here on that. So you'll see January through May total revenue of almost 221 million. That's up almost 13.8. So total of 6.66 total for the 5 categories. At the beginning we saw attractions, I think they were way up, shows were down, now shows are up, attractions are coming back in, but over every category there is up. In May, you'll see that shows we're up almost 3 million in total revenue. This isn't tax dollars, this is total revenue. Nightly rentals up 331,000. Attractions were down almost 1.4 million, hotels up 370,000, and then restaurants were up this month 1.7 million, where last month they were down like over 1 million. So
Maybe supplying and report.
it could be, when I look at some of this stuff, it's just interesting, and we've kind of been saying that all year. It's, some of these numbers are just a little, but overall, the good news is when you look at these 5 categories as a group, they're all up individually, but they're all up, corporately as well. So that's kind of the latest and greatest there. What comments or questions does anybody have on any of this?
I have a question. So I think, just as a reminder to myself and maybe others, the city's tax is lagging, the report is lagging 30 days. And then by the time TCED gets their portion of that tax, that's a 60-day lag on our reporting. Is that fair to say?
Different tax, but yes.
Okay. So we're paying payables current within 30 and our revenues coming in within 60.
We get a distribution every month, so we are
Okay.
monthly.
I mean, that's fun to try to.
It is, it gets really
Budget to
confusing.
that and, okay. It could explain some of the time we see, negative numbers because we're paying payables for monies that may or may not be received yet.
Mhm.
Is that fair to say? I mean, I realize you're saying we're getting a
Sometimes.
distribution once a month, but it could vary how much that distribution is.
Oh, it does.
Versus how many bills we have going out.
Yes.
Because we've been doing this for a number of years, you've built in flow, so into the problem. So
Okay.
you're paying ahead, but you're doing it every month, you've been doing it all along. So it's not, you're not, I understand your question about matching revenue with expenses, but that's the way you've been always doing it. So there's not a change. So there's
Right.
no cash flow change from one month to the next.
Right.
Now, this year, we have not had to use the line of credit, where in the past, like last year, I think we did, this year we did not. So sometimes that does happen because we're not getting as much money at the beginning of the year, but they're spending a bunch of marketing. So that would
Right.
be, that's the side.
Actually, our deposits go up in the first quarter. Because we're not spending money, but we have the year end bill revenues coming in, then we start spending money on advertising. So we don't spend it unless the money's there, and we usually don't use a line of credit by this time.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Other comments, questions? Okay, if not, I need a motion to accept the financial statement.
Almost, man.
I
Second,
have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, EDT monthly financial report, Aaron, and I think he put something on your seat or on your table there.
Good morning. You should have received the Florence and Tourism Statement of Activity for the month of June. Did everyone receive one?
Yes.
There were no outliers in the Statement of Activity for this month. Standard billings, we had miles, cultivator, vacation guide distribution, all the things that we normally have. We did want to point out on the revenue side that our revenues are performing well year to date, and we do feel that those are coming in and will continue to come in for the year. Our in-house sales are going very strongly. Any questions about anything in particular on the statement of activity?
can I ask, I know somewhere we get information on other markets, it's like we're having a pretty good year. Do we know other markets if they're doing well nationwide?
It depends on which markets. So right now, Arizona, the Grand Canyon's on fire, so they're suffering severely. The entire state of Arizona has suffered a bit of a decline, specifically in northern Arizona. Talked to partners in Pigeon Forge, they are seeing a slowdown. They're not facing the tourism tax dollars that we have. And to talk to partners in Florida, they're having a great summer. So it's cyclical, it changes based on destination and desire and want. I will say that we are a more affordable location and destination, and we've received some really great press in recent months. Our Today Show mentioned last month, as well as our Afar mentioned, we just got named the best place to travel in September by Afar magazine, which is a much more higher end demographic. Average household income of an Afar reader is 130,000 plus for their household income. So I think things like that are a boon to us. And then we've had a lot of really great golf coverage lately with Johnny Morris's projects and specifically being called out for the destination that has top golf. So it's, I just met with a golf journalist this morning for breakfast at 7 o'clock, and he's doing a 4-page feature on Branson. And what's different about his stories, he's covered Branson for the past 20 years. And for the first time in his writing of Branson, he is including shows. So he's going to the Haygoods tonight. He went to Dolly Parton Stampede last night, and he's golfing 5 courses over 2 days, but he's adding in live entertainment. And it helps to know that the governor just made that proclamation for live entertainment capital in Missouri as well. So we've got some really great press on that.
It seems like we turfed the field over there by the recplex. I just noticed it all seems to seem like a lot more buses and cars over there in the parking lot.
Much
I think
more,
ballparks
yeah,
having a good
softball teams and baseball teams more than ever. So we're running out of space.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that, no.
I can tell you that this internet invitational that Portnoy has announced is gonna bring a lot of focus on golf here. That's a huge amount of exposure because that's where, I have kids that are in their 20s and that's where they live is on Instagram, YouTube videos and watching smaller produced content. They don't watch TV, they watch YouTube videos and they watch all kinds of content that has tons of humor in it. And that internet invitational is going to bring in all these guys that create content. And it's going to be a ton of exposure for the forces out there. So I think it will drive a much younger crowd to come here to play golf.
Who's that?
It's in, I want to say it's in August or something.
Yeah,
I think it's August
just-
12th,
Yeah,
something like that.
I don't know. It's kind of unclear whether they were going to ticket it or not.
No.
I don't think they're going to ticket it.
It
I
will
think
not
it's just
be.
going to be internet content.
It's not ticketed and it's actually private, so they will not be allowing media or anyone out there, and it'll be aired 1 month after the event happens. So, they've invited a very select few to go out there. We've been invited to get a little bit of coverage, but even that, it will be embargoed, so that it can't be shared until after the later date. But to that point, I think that's a really good point. We're seeing a huge lift in our CTV. So traditional is hard to measure. We can't put a measurement on that. But connected TV, we're able to track all of it and to be able to see what's happening and where people are getting their content is it's exciting because we're able to then measure it and then be able to quantify what's happening and measure the ROI from it. Our marketing oversight committee meeting this Thursday has some really great information in there, and that report we can ask Angela to send out to everyone. It's got all of our metrics.
So speaking of ROI, how do we calculate this direct economic impact that's on this sheet?
Oh, on the op fund?
Yeah.
That's through our Destinations International event calculator that we use. It's an industry standard. We use that in partnership with the convention center. So we actually offset the cost. They have a partnership with us and we pay a fee, they pay a fee, and then it helps us measure economic impact of what those events bring to the destination.
So we don't getting down into it granularly, we don't really have any impact on that. It's just kind of hey, we put put information in and it spits a number out.
Right, it has a calculator that does that. We actually can go beyond that though with our Placer AI data to be able to track what these visitors to these events are doing. And then beyond that, we can use our Datafy tool, which actually regulates credit card spending to be able to show what the average spend is per visitor, how long they're staying in market, where they're going throughout the entire Taney County. And we've actually added some new zip codes to that platform as of yesterday, so that we'll be able to measure all the way Kimberly City, Saddlebrook, Richdale, and then separate that out and aggregate it to be able to see those visitors that come in, say from Springfield Airport, and they go to Big Loan. How many times are they coming into our destination? What are they doing? Are they going to Table Rock? What are they doing?
Anybody else have any other questions or comments for Eric? Okay. Thank you. Okay, next is the Angela, do we need to make a motion on that at all? No. Next item is the Q2 Marketing Opportunity Fund Report. You have a sheet here in front of you. Reed, talk about that.
Yeah, so we had 3 groups who applied and were approved to receive opportunity funds in the Q2. And 2 of them hit their numbers, 1 of them did not. So Teach Them Diligently, the religious group, will not receive the $10,000, but we did talk nicely to them and deliver great hospitality and let them down easy a little bit. So overall, we committed 24,500 and we're only going to end up paying out just around 12,000. So,
And I noticed in your comments there, these people are still coming back even though they didn't get funds. There you go.
they're locked in.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Any questions, comments on that?
You big groups coming in next 90 days.
For sure. There's a lot of sports coming in August. They've assured me. Lots of big stuff there. And then right now, there's a really cool group at the convention center called Polishing the Pulpit, which is a religious group. I think they had 2,000.
Last year too.
Yeah, they grew their event by a couple hundred people. And I was just randomly in a meeting there yesterday where they were talking about incentive funds and they want to grow their Branson event to be their flagship event from 2,000 people to like 5,000 people. Unfortunately, they come in July, but so yeah, we have a couple big ones.
I see on your report that one of the cons is the underutilization of the resources. Is there a plan to? This seems like a year-over-year thing, really, where we leave some out there. You guys working? I assume you're working on a plan or have some thoughts as to how to utilize those funds.
Absolutely. So it's top of mind in the office. Our sales manager, Avery, he started about 6 months ago. And then we have an open position for Vaughn Long, who retired. And so it's top of mind, being discussed constantly. And we're trying to deploy those funds to lock in business and flip it from a lead to a definite booking. And then we're considering, is it national or local? Is it shoulder season or is it peak season? Is it new or is it growing? And so we really do not want to give, all that money to marketing again. So we want to make sure to, use that for sales groups.
The other thing is we did make some changes, but I'm guessing those changes take a while to implement.
Exactly.
So
I think you're referring to like deploying it for leisure groups, and we're not quite there yet.
yeah.
And
So
while this says we have 118,000 remaining, we do not actually, is that correct? Because we've jumped on the Hallmark opportunity for 100,000. So there's really only 18,000 left for this year.
But what opportunity?
Hallmark for Christmas in July. Lots of things. Heather got us a good deal.
At the last few MOC and TCED board meetings, there's been a regular conversation around promotion of Christmas in July and having presence on the Hallmark channel. So we reached out to Hallmark directly and negotiated what would normally be a $200,000 minimum buy. We negotiated a $100,000 minimum buy for a 6-week campaign that actually starts today. And we'll be able to measure everything that's done digitally through CTV and the digital spread to be able to see when people are served the content. And then when they pull the trigger and do something in Branson to have that credit card spent. So we'll be able to see what return on investment is from start to finish. And even if they're served something over this 6-week campaign and they don't take action until 6, 8, 9 months from now, it'll all be attributed back to that Hallmark spread. So we created Christmas commercials that are specific to remove the voice of vacation and made it just for promoting Branson and all things magical Christmas, and then digital ads as well. And that will run until August 31st for a Christmas in the summer sort of campaign across the Hallmark channel and on their connected TV platforms. And then our partnership that we have through Adherent and Cadent, which is our TV provider, we went direct to source rather than going with an agency and paying a 13% commission fee. We went direct to that service provider. And when we told them that we wanted a Hallmark partnership, they of course wanted the commission, but we went to Hallmark directly. So as a bonus and added value, they gave us added exposure on the Hallmark app through Cadent and Adherent. And that's only been running for less than 2 weeks, and it's already producing 2% of our viewership across our TV spend that fast on the Hallmark channel. So we know that from our recent report that we just got last week, where people are being served our content and fed the most, they're receiving it through Fox News, Lifetime channel, and Hallmark is rapidly rising. So it'll be exciting to see what the results are from this campaign.
This is going national, correct me if I'm wrong? Yep.
Yeah, so when it's across their digital platform, as you know, if you watch Tubi, if you use any of those, Amazon Fire, any of those platforms versus traditional direct TV, it's nationwide. So potentially around the world if you're traveling and watching the Hallmark channel and you take it with you. And you'd be surprised how many people love the Hallmark channel. People from our own MOC and TCED board members.
I know we've had that Hallmark channel. I've been watching Christmas movies on the weekend because my wife has it on. So people do it.
You know that she.
They're all so predictable. It's gonna happen. Anyway, yeah, and just to Matt, just to let you know, this idea came to us. We sent it to MOC, but we had a really quick turnaround. So we had a special board meeting regarding it, but we did get MOC input and diverted some of the funds that weren't really going to be used this year. And so I mean, that's good. It sounds like preliminary. We're here seeing good stuff. So that's great. And then you're going to launch more even, what did you say today?
Yeah, they gave us some added value. What wasn't included in the original proposal was a digital spread across their website platform, and they want to earn our business. So we mentioned doing a partnership with them next year. So as added value, they've given us an entire run of digital content across their website.
Great.
So when you talk about the reporting on the kind of economic impact, I know that the data can be really sophisticated, but if somebody booked a trip to Branson, let's say, 2 weeks ago for October, and then they watch the Hallmark stuff, and then they come in October and use their credit card, does that spend still going to show up on that Hallmark report?
No.
Or do you know that they had already intended to go to Branson somehow?
So it's pixel identified. So this campaign specifically will have its own, it has its own set of pixels as well as all the rest of our campaigns. So summer has its own, fall has its own, on and on. So it will be attributed to the specific campaign that was run. So if they were served something before the Hallmark campaign ran, it'll be attributed to that.
Any other questions on the marketing opportunity? Okay, we will move on to the draft audit reports. And you should have there's a couple items, I believe. One is from our staff. Then I think you also had some other stuff here, maybe from that Alex submitted as well.
There was something in your packets and an extra handout showing some recommendations for the comments.
So Angela, do you want to kind of take us through this?
Sure. On the financial statement side, the really only that was made is on our material weakness finding and of segregation of duties not being adequate. Because we can't have 8 people in the office, we're not going to have segregation ever. But my recommendation is the response is fine that's currently in the draft audit, but that the FOC probably needs to develop a written policy that would better define the duties of those authorized to sign on the bank accounts and something that balances the disbursement process that would not impede the speed. Doesn't necessarily need to be something in the audit, but it might be something we think about for how we operate. Right now, there's nothing that there's a policy that says we have two signers on every check, but that's about the limit of what it says about bank signatories and what they can and can't do and how they interact with the person writing the checks and so on. So I would think that probably over the next year, we should think about developing a policy that would address those issues.
Are you suggesting it be a little bit better defined than what it is today? Okay.
Yeah. And the purpose is to mitigate risk, to separate the duties and mitigate risk. So the better we can explain how we do things, the system and some double checks. Page 26 had a typo on the budgeting process. It said in August of each year, the FOC gives the CVB an initial estimate. It's actually June, so I've made that correction. AUP had the majority of difficulties with the comments. If you remember, there was an AP to AR difference. Aaron is tracking that down with the help of his independent auditor and able to get that resolved. And then we will balance that monthly in our reconciliation meeting moving forward so that we know we're good. And basically the same on anything, but that is in the middle of the page where I've added a sentence to their response and then explained the $15,000 and the difference in revenues. I don't know that we found the $324 difference, but it's up to you if you want to include these in the responses. But basically, we just need to continue with our monthly checks and making sure everything is in line.
So in this document, you are we're recommending changing course August to June, and then the stuff that is in yellow inserting, that's based on
Yes.
staff recommendation. And then Alex, I know you had some comments, and so I guess the question is some of this relate? Do you want to go over yours?
No, that's the spirit of the comments. And just the more, I know it's staff limited and it's pretty common sense, but I think when I was talking to Angela about it, it's just the more we can enumerate what that looks like and not just, this is the way we do it. Like there's a precedent that gets set by how we do business, but when and if there is another person that comes in, when and if she's not available to do that, the less that's up to the guesswork, the better. So just formalizing those processes.
Kind of continuing on your idea of having an operation manual, Chris.
So there's nothing in yours that
It wouldn't be captured by her recommendation.
Okay. Thanks for taking the time to do this. So, is there any other changes anybody has to recommend? We've had this for 2 months,
A month and a half.
month and a half. We did ask for at the last meeting if you had any input to provide it prior. But then maybe we can't take it today, but I guess I would entertain a motion to approve with the recommended changes.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Who was the second on that one? Alex, thank you.
Okay. Next item is the mid-year budget review.
This one's fine.
Is that the
Very end of your packet, I hope.
last page?
It's yellow and green.
There we go. There it is. Last page.
2 pages. What I did was take through June 30 and compare it against the total budget for the year. And you have the year-to-date variance, percentage of where we are in budget, highlighted 5 spots on the far right, 4 plus a total. There are some things that won't have any more expenses, such as the Stone County TIF that's paid once a year in February or March. It was under this year by almost $48,000. The administrative fee, because of the way we estimate, there's a savings of $37,000 there. Don't expect to use the line of credit, so there's interest savings that we could repurpose. And as I said before, the chief's payment is done for the year. There's $37,500 there, yielding a total of $172,000. My thought was we think about it, talk about it. If you're interested in moving money, is it too soon in the year, given we've only got 6 months of sales tax in? And just see what your thoughts are. Those are things outside of the marketing budget that could be recouped.
So what we're saying, at the end of the day, there could be additional dollars there for marketing. The question would be is whether this board would recommend we could take some of it, we could take none of it, we could take and wait a month or two. You could even front load it for the first of next year. So there's a variety of things that could be done. The last 2 months, our tax has been negative, and so we're still up. Of course, we've had months that are up, months that are down. So, Angela, thanks for doing number one, this work to identify this, to say, hey, here's some potential savings or however you want to call it.
It is.
Can't remember, but it seemed like last year this time we were right behind. I like, no. And then end of the year just blew up, you know. So, you know, I guess a lot of it, you know, if we do have surplus, I'm assuming.
Yeah, is there an immediate need or like a, man, if you just had a little bit, we could.
Always.
I mean, right, but I mean, is there
Don't
one
ask
like,
them.
I mean, the Hallmark thing was obviously that was a big opportunity and well-used money, but is there any? I know always you would just give us more, well, I know you
Yeah.
can put it to good use, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that, but is there a unique opportunity or something out there you guys are looking at and saying, we just can't do it because we don't have the funds or?
There are a couple potential things coming up that we feel like it's too soon to talk about. We'll know about them this week, about what we could do, and we can present those, and we can even just email those to Angela and make sure that this group would be aware of it, and it would fall within less than that amount that's in there.
I know we got the big Labor Day weekend event. I don't know if we even need to advertise that.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
And, you know, in terms of like next year's 250 year of our founding, I assume we got excess funds for that, but would we need more to promote that? Maybe would we do it in the fourth quarter?
We have not been made aware of any excess funds that would be for that.
Yeah.
That would be part of what we would allocate that for. We have some exciting opportunities with that that we would like to take advantage of, and that would include nationwide broadcasting for the 250th to let the entire country know about it. And it wouldn't be falling under it's about celebrating patriotism, but then all of the things that are going on. And the city has agreed to have 3 parades next year, and one of them being on Flag Day, where we would be going out for the world record for the most flags displayed in one destination, which would also be Rally Point Branson that weekend. So that would be more of a festive, just a giant party that Flag Day is not typically a holiday that people travel for and make big weekend plans for, but we want to turn it into that in Branson. That would normally be a weekend that wouldn't be as busy as a 4th of July weekend. So we see that as low hanging fruit and an opportunity to turn it into a red, white, blue, just come celebrate all Americana in Branson. And then there are also some opportunities with FIFA to be able to capitalize on some of that international market that's coming into Kansas City. We see that as a possibility as well. And introducing Branson to a whole new group of visitors that have more disposable income, stay longer, spend longer, and see what Branson's all about. So that would be a couple of the things.
Angela, you showed us some of the budget items where there's some savings. Are there line items that could go over budget that could cut into that?
At this point in the operations budget, I don't really see that happening. We've got our insurance renewals in, which are really the biggest price jump risk we have. Those came in under budget line. So at this point, everything is pretty accurate to what I expect it to be.
Well, we just wanted to bring number one, this to y'all's
Mhm.
attention. I think that, the question is, if we would make a recommendation, of course, we would get, as far as the dollar amount, then we would go to Heather and her team. We'd talk to MOC board. If we wait a month, you're at the end of August. By the time you do this, it's fall. I'm guessing, quite frankly, if you have extra money, it doesn't take that long to put it in circulation and spend it. And so you really, at this point, you look at a fall or Christmas campaign, extra dollars, depending on what you would do. The other thing is, do you just wait, put it more into spring of next year? So I think this board has to determine what they feel comfortable with doing, knowing the facts that are here, what you see here.
Actually, I'm reading this right, but isn't another component of our revenues in the budget is the EBT marketing revenues, right? So how do those feel like those are tracking for the year?
We're ahead with all of our marketing. And since taking it on internally, it's been really successful. And we think that we're going to finish ahead for 2025 as well.
It looks like there's $650,000 budgeted to grants. Is that something that's still out there? We still think
Revenues will come in late September, early October, but they're set.
still good for those?
Mhm.
Okay.
So the real variable is they're almost at 200,000 on their publications and website. They budgeted 350. And I think what we just heard is you feel comfortable at this point, you're going to hit that. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Good question, man.
Well, I think a little buffer would be nice, but I don't think probably needs to be $117,000. So I think we could recommend 100,000.
So
That's kind of, easy number. Explore it anyway.
is that a motion or a?
That's a motion.
There's a motion to,
I'll second it.
reallocate $100,000? Is that how you want that, Angela?
It's fine. Yep.
That's what I said.
I need that.
Got there. Okay, there's any more discussion on this?
I think it's wise to, we're not a bank, but leveraging resources, but still leaving some room so we don't avoid trying to run into the line of credit and then incur costs that we don't need. We see something dip around, but I think it's respectful of both lines of thought.
Neil, and I think this is kind of implied discussion, but the only thing I would add is you all taking that thought and saying, hey, here's something that can actually bring you some value. Because, Greg, you kind of made of this. We lived through some volatility last year that ultimately came our way favorably. But I think between now and August, it's interesting to know how these continue to change.
Yeah.
The other discussion. Okay, all those in favor of the motion to recommend $100,000 be reallocated, say aye. Those opposed? Okay, we will carry that on to MOC and the board. The announcements and public comments.
Last time we were talking about some of this TIF money, kind of roll it back into and we would get 100% instead of 50%. We're gonna look at the timing on that. Is there any updates?
That is 2029. Or the 2029 is the expiration of the landing TIF. Branson Hills expires middle of next year, middle of 27. Yeah.
But I think there's a series of different ones that roll back in. It's just Branson Hills, and
Branson Hills is technically 2 TIFs, but they are the same date.
And that one comes up before,
Before the landing now, yes.
did you say 27? Is that what you said?
I believe that's correct, yes.
I think we are hopeful we get it next year. And I think after she went back and looked,
There was an amendment to the TIF shortly after it was formed, and that pushed the date out 3 years. So.
when you look at all of the TIFs, including Stone County, it's about $2 million out of this budget. So the majority of it is Branson, the Branson TIFs. So in a couple of years, we should have $1.5 million. Must be nice.
Yeah.
So.
property taxes in the back end too.
So anyway, our board did not take a position on the TIF that's currently being discussed. The TC board opted not to take a position, so just FYI on that too. So you're on that, good?
I mean,
Yeah, you're done. Any other announcements?
I would like to share with this group, we have extended an offer and it's been accepted for our new finance manager that will be working for Erin. And, we're super excited about that. She will be starting with our organization on August 4th. And, I know Erin is beyond ready to have, some additional help. And I just want to thank Angela for, just working so well together with our residents. Her and Erin, I think, have a really good working relationship, and we're really getting things lined out like they should be. And so, and I want to recognize, read this opportunity fund report doesn't happen by accident. There's a lot of work that goes into that, and as he says, this is important and it's top of mind with the team. So, and then hearing from our stakeholders, hearing from TCED, MOC, Heather listened, and by golly, we got that contract with Hallmark, and it's a really big deal. It's something that we've been talking about for a long time, and she was able to go and negotiate something with them that is gonna benefit our community as well as fit our budget. So just our team's working very hard, very diligently. We understand the importance of spending tax dollars. And so we get our new finance manager in, we'll get her trained on that as well. And so anyway, things are looking good. We appreciate all of you and, the MLC and the TCED board. So thank you.
What was her name?
Her name is
Haley Glasby.
Kaylee Glassby.
That's Gillespie.
Glassby, GLAS.
Yeah.
She has her, she's working on her master's, right, in accounting. She already has her bachelor's and, she's a local, she lives in Galena.
Good.
And, has some good experience. We've interviewed her multiple times. We brought Pat, Cox in as he's the treasurer of our board and set in on the final interview. Background checks, reference checks, employment verification, everything's done through HR Advantage. So we feel it's always a 50-50 shot when you hire somebody, but we feel like we've done our due diligence to find the best person to fit in with our current team in the finance department. So it will definitely be beneficial for us to have her there. So. And we'll introduce her to you as soon as possible.
I'm gonna say Aaron did a good job filling in.
Aaron has
Yes,
done an
he's done a
amazing
great
job.
job. Mhm.
I think there's a concert tonight at Thunder Ridge. There's one this weekend. And if you think about it, at the end of August, there are a bunch of concerts. I was just sitting there thinking about our spending. The end of August is typically a low time. And there's going to be a lot going on here at the end of August here in the community. And so I think that should help drive some increased numbers, I think, for August.
Yeah.
There's so many concerts then. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah. Were they rainouts that moved to August?
Yeah, that's what some of them.
Yeah, like Alabama moved, of course, Tim McGraw, Reed, there's a bunch.
With the Hayes.
Kane Brown.
Kane Brown.
That's this weekend.
Yeah.
Are you going, Greg?
I have 4 tickets if anybody wants.
You sounded really excited.
I was hoping my kids would be interested. I don't even who Kane Brown. He sang the national anthem at the All-Star game.
I know there's a lot of stuff going on over Labor Day weekend with the Blue Angel, the concerts, and there's something
It's
else.
also Navy Week leading up to Labor Day weekend, and the Navy Band, America's Band, will be performing on the landing that Friday of Labor Day weekend. So we will all be tracking all of it through our Placer AI data to be able to compare numbers from 1 year to the other. And they will also be, they'll have one of their lead singers of the Navy Band performing at City Hall on Tuesday for the Board of Aldermen that week, singing the national anthem, and then bringing 5 Navy service members home from the state of Missouri to be recognized at that meeting. And doing the whole tour all across Branson Lakes area for Navy Week. And then they'll all be attending the Blue Angels that weekend.
The tracking software that you're referencing, is that something new?
It is.
Okay, okay.
We love it. If you ever wanted to stop in and see some numbers, I was showing off to Grant Sloan yesterday and he can't stop talking about it now. So it's amazing what we can measure.
That's impressive.
So we're kind of going to start transitioning here in the next week. We'll start talking about 2026 budgets and marketing plans and all of that. And so we're this year's almost behind us. We're moving on, like, even though it's not really that case, but from a planning standpoint, that's where we're headed. And I'm excited because, we've set some structures up that give people the opportunity to comment on budgets and marketing plans over 2 or 3 months. So I think hopefully this year we'll have more opportunity to do that. Last year, Heather kind of got here in September after, some of that stuff had started. So this will be kind of the first year for her to be a part of that, leading us through that effort. And so I'm excited about that. And so you'll start to see some of that stuff here shortly. So any other announcements or public comments?
Do you guys have an announcement on their TCED?
Oh, board. Yes. The city appointed Tim Haygood. Thanks for mentioning that. Tim Haygood, this week will be his first meeting to be there as a board member, and so the city appointed him. And so we're looking forward to having him on the board. So,
And your gang is our boss because he was
Yeah.
serving on our board and, so he had to resign from our board, of course, to accept that one. And so we done the next best thing. His brother Patrick, has been voted on and approved by our board to fill this spot. So, anyway, yeah, I think, the Haygood's are an institution here. They understand what needs to happen. So I think it's, it's great, but we were sorry to lose Tim, but on our,
I think,
we'll take that direct.
Tim's very, very focused on AI, social media, internet type things, and so I think he'll be a good addition. And of course, their family's done a lot of great things on social media. So anyway, yep. And we have several board positions that will come up for either renewal or new board members here in the next 2 or 3 months. So myself, Dennis Wood, and Michelle Herzog, those positions, their terms in. So it's up to those political entities whether they reappoint us or appoint new people. So that will be coming soon. So, anything else?
And this group has to reapply every year,
That is
and that rolls around when?
soon.
We'll start that the end of September.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. We got a reminder last year. I didn't even realize.
I'll bet you get one this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I like reminders.
Yes.
Anything else?
Did your
Got you at in under an hour.
Yeah.
I did it.
I just want to say thank you, Greg, for hosting.
Yes.
Yes, thanks for coming here.
There's some donuts over there, some coffee if you didn't get any and you want some, there's some over there. Would someone move to adjourn?
Yeah, it
Okay, second.
Yeah, there was a second.